Today on Ridge Roamer, we're going to explore winter motorcycle riding and when it's time to hang up your helmet for the season. We'll go over how the type of motorcycle you ride can impact your decision, the science of wind chill, motorcycle accessories that allow you to ride in colder weather, tire considerations, gear, how to keep your visor and glasses from fogging up, and examine road conditions compared to actual air temperature. I personally would rather ride in colder temperatures than hotter temperatures, but like many things in life, this topic is a balance of personal preference and objective truths. Straddling a combustion engine when it's 100 degrees out, sun beating down on you, blacktop radiating heat from below, moving or not, it's miserable. Now cruising around when it's in the 50s, leather jacket on and other temperature appropriate gear, basking in the sunshine of a late fall day, it doesn't get any better. There are many factors involved in deciding how cold is too cold, and beyond the very subjective personal preference factor are many other factors depending on the motorcycle or motorcycles that you have. What do I mean by that? First, let's examine that cold airflow. Wind chill is real, and its effect on a motorcycle are significantly more noticeable than just standing outside on a breezy day. The actual formula for calculating wind chill is rather complicated. To simplify things, you can reference a chart or use an online calculator, but let's say, for example, that it's a nice 50-degree fall afternoon. You know you don't have much riding left before the snow hits, so you decide to go for a ride. Well, if you hop on a 55-mile-an-hour road and only run the speed limit, that 50-degree day now feels like 39 degrees. And 39 degrees probably doesn't sound nearly as appealing. Go faster than 55 and it feels even colder. Now, if you ride a Ducati Monster, that full brunt of 39 degrees is hitting you just about everywhere. Yes, you hopefully have gear on, but we'll get into that. Alternatively though, if you're riding a Honda Goldwing, there's not much wind hitting you at all. You're riding in a nice little bubble, so the wind chill is much less of a factor. So the general style of the bike that you own can significantly impact your decision of how cold is too cold. Beyond the overall style, installed accessories can also play a big part. I have bikes that I only run windshields on in colder weather. In hotter weather, they come off because I don't need them. Maybe you have a big windshield in the winter and a small one in the summer. I've also installed other accessories like hand guards to block the wind, heated grips to radiate warmth from the bars, and heated seats to keep my buns toasty. Highway bar closeouts on a cruiser can also have tremendous impact, shielding your legs from the wind, especially that cold breeze that blows up your pant legs on a feet-forward style bike. Let's get back to objective truth and science again and examine how your tires change with temperature. The importance of tires on a motorcycle can't be overemphasized. They are your lifeline, and when their traction gives out, you go down. Any racer knows that you need to warm tires before you can hit the corners hard. Too much lateral force before allowing your tires to warm up, and your warm-up lap will be your final lap. Now, what happens if ambient temperature is below freezing and you roll out onto the street from your cold driveway? You guessed it, your tires will be even harder and their traction will be reduced. I'm not saying this to scare you, but you have to pay attention and ride accordingly. Just from the friction of riding around, your tires will increase in temperature by around 50 degrees. But if the ambient temperature is 30 or 40 degrees, then that's still like riding on cold tires in the summer. Tire manufacturers have a tough job because they have to create rubber compounds that will handle extreme riding and high temperatures without getting so soft that they get gummy and lose traction, but also not lose all traction when they're cold and hard. They're producing super sticky compounds for lightweight race bikes, pushing the limits and replacing tires every race. And they're also producing much harder compounds for touring bikes that weigh in excess of 1,000 pounds, with riders who expect to get at least 10,000, if not 15,000 miles out of each tire. Know what type of compound you run, understand that cold temperatures will make them grip that much less, and ride accordingly. Now let's talk gear. Good cold weather gear is essential if you plan to be at all comfortable on colder rides. Keeping wind from going down your neck makes a massive difference, so find a good neck gaiter or balaclava. Before getting fully outfitted in cold weather motorcycle specific gear, I used to ride in snow ski pants. I know people that have full armor and a lightweight jacket, then just put on a normal winter coat over that when they need additional temperature protection. Spend the money or get creative, but adding more layers without getting bulky is a tough balance. While it may be tempting, try not to sacrifice actual armored protection in order to gain cold weather protection. I'm a big fan of the brand Climb. This is their mid layer, which is thin but warm. A nice base layer underneath, then this mid layer and one of their Gore-Tex outer shells with armor, and I'm good to go as cold as I want to ride. Midday, if it warms up, it's easy to remove this mid layer, throw it in my bag, and continue riding without getting too hot. If your bike doesn't have heated grips, did you know you can buy a set of heated gloves? My winter riding gloves have a rechargeable battery pack in each cuff, and with the press of a button I can turn on heating elements that run over my hands and fingers and even adjust the temperature setting to get rid of that chill without getting too hot. I can't recommend these enough. I'll put a link in the description below if you're interested in a set. They also make heated vests, heated socks, heated helmet visors, you name it. Some are battery powered, but most actually plug into a lead coming off your motorcycle battery. Just make sure your motorcycle's charging system can handle the amount of load you intend to put on it. Once your battery goes dead, you'll not only be cold, you'll be stranded. Now let's talk about that dreaded fog. It's really hard to ride safely when your visor or glasses fog over. So why does this happen so much in cold weather? That fog is condensation, and condensation occurs when warm water vapor from your breath or your sweat lands on a cold surface, changing back to a liquid, usually in small droplets that you see as fog. We're doing everything we can to keep our bodies warm, and we don't want to change that. Your helmet visor or glasses are going to get cold, so how do we prevent fog? There are actually a few ways to help. One, you can get a visor that has pin lock technology. That pin lock technology basically turns your visor into a double pane window, using the air trapped between the two layers as an insulator, reducing the amount of fogging that occurs. It definitely helps, but it's not going to completely resolve the issue, especially in very cold temperatures. Next, you can treat your visor with an anti-fog coating. Now, anti-fog is a bit of a misnomer because it doesn't actually stop the condensation. What it does is minimize surface tension, causing that condensation to quickly slide off the visor. So basically, it will still get wet, it just runs off quickly. But at least you can see. Another thing you can do is buy a heated visor. Yes, they exist, though you may need a more snowmobile-style helmet in order to accommodate it. And it plugs in just like other heated gear, and voila, no cold visor, no condensation. My preferred solution is to allow the small area behind my visor to be cold. Eliminate the heat behind the visor, and you eliminate the condensation. This is accomplished with a couple inexpensive items and one easy change. Those items are a balaclava that covers my entire head and neck except for the small opening around my eyes, and a breath deflector that seals between my helmet and my face just below my eyes. Now when I exhale, either through my nose or my mouth, that hot humid air goes down and out the bottom of my helmet, not up into the visor area, keeping fog from forming. And the very easy change that I mentioned, crack the visor open one click to allow that cold air to circulate around the back of the visor, minimizing the temperature change from front to back. Yes, this means the area around my eyes is cold, but with the proper setup, only the area around my eyes is cold, and at least I can see. So what temperature can you comfortably ride down to clearly depends on a multitude of factors. but the thing that ultimately prevents me from riding are the road conditions. Cold temperatures with clear, dry roads isn't a problem, even with snowbanks down the side of the road. But if there's ice, sleet, or packed snow, it's better to throw in the towel. While people have come up with some pretty ingenious workarounds, in general, keeping it on two wheels gets extremely difficult on ice, and it's better to live to ride another day. Thank you for joining me today. I'll put links in the description below for many of the items that I talked about today. I hope you'll check out some of my other videos and consider subscribing for more content like this. Have a great day.